cuffs are off, man. Get right. Too many left in these leagues, but I ain't gonna leave. I'ma get right. Get right. Down to the bottom and scratch it for all the...
Hey everybody, Adam Rank here.
What's up everybody? It's Marcus Grant.
This is AJ Dillon of the Green Bay Packers.
I got to give a shout out to y'all at Get Right Fantasy.
If you are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? You want to lose your league?
Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network.
You got to get right with the Get Right Fantasy Network.
Best of luck with your podcast. Appreciate the support.
And you're tuned in to watch my boys at Get Right Fantasy Network. Get you right. Enjoy the show.
But I tune in every Friday. Strategies provided, I will lock in every way. So go and roll your sleeves up. Yeah, go roll your sleeves up. And I'm getting down, cause I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting right, cause I roll my sleeves up.
What up? What up? What up, world? Welcome back. This is the Get Right Fantasy Network with me, Mike Herrick, aka Classic Mike. And this is our week 4 active and inactive show. Today, I'm going to be going over the news since our Friday show. We have tons of news to get to, lots of updates to get you guys apprised to before we start week 4. Also, I'm going to give you guys some casual DFS value picks a little bit later on in the show after we have actives and inactives. If you have any start sit questions leading up, make sure you guys put it in the chat, and I'm going to try to get to them as soon as I can. We also have super chats on for immediate responses. So if you have anything that you want, I will stop the show and answer your question first. But go ahead and drop your questions in the chat, and I will get to them as we go. Be sure to include league size and, the type of scoring that you guys have, full PPR, half PPR, things like that, just so I can give you guys the best the best answers I can. Also, make sure you guys check out our banner below. This is our weekly schedule. We are here every day except for Saturday, but we will be having a Saturday show soon. Keep an eye and alerts out for that. Also, if you guys want to just have a quick look at our show, pause. This is what our show is. Our shows are going to be Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Friday, and Sunday with me. So make sure you guys check this out. Pause if you have a minute. Take it all down. I'll go through it in a minute. I'd rather get to the news because we have so many crazy things going on that I need to make you guys aware of. Of course, we got my buddy Patrick Lario in the chat. Don't worry, Pat. I got you in a sec. So we have lots of injuries to go on right now. Justin Herbert, he was limited all week with a high ankle sprain. He is expected to start barring any setback. Right now, everything looks like he is going to play. Very strange to see. He has a high ankle sprain. I'm very surprised they're going to roll him out there again. Also, his left tackle, Joe Alt, is going to be doubtful for this game. So maybe not the smartest idea. Jordan Love is questionable, but he is expected to play today versus the Vikings. He's going to be wearing a brace on the knee that he had the issue with the MCL sprain. He's going to play today. A lot of good news today. There's not really a lot of bad news, which is kind of nice. Jair Alexander, he's questionable and a true game time decision. He's dealing with a quad injury. This just means anything, for those JJ owners, but honestly, you shouldn't have to worry too much about that. Chris Olave was thrown on the injury report on Friday. He had a hamstring injury that he got in Friday's practice. He's listed as questionable, but Nick Underhill, already the beat writer for the Saints, has already said he is active and playing today. So he will be out there today, as well as his teammate Alvin Kamara. Kamara is going to be out there. He has hip and rib injuries that he's dealing with, but he will be out today, or he will be in the lineup today. He will be out there and playing. So expect Alvin Kamara to be there. The only bad news that we got today was Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon is, he was limited only on Friday, did not practice Wednesday and Thursday. He was a true game time decision leading up. He's going to be out today. So Cam Akers is going to be the starter. Rashid Rice, he was thrown on the injury report late Saturday with an illness. He is considered questionable. He had food poisoning, but it looks like he is good to go. So don't worry about him. He's going to be set and ready to play. Keenan Allen was also limited most of the week except for Friday. He's good to go. He said he's already ready and, willing to play. For the Eagles, A.J. Brown and Lane Johnson are both going to be inactive today. AJ Brown was downgraded yesterday afternoon. He will not play. Lane Johnson is also going to be out, so that's going to limit them. Devontae Smith is also ruled out. Looks like Dwan Dotson is going to be the guy. Should be fun. I think it's going to be more the Dallas Goedert show. George Kittle, after missing, last week with a hamstring, Kittle was limited on Wednesday and Thursday, but he was a full on Friday. He's ready to go. He's ready to play football. He's ready. Debo Samuel, his teammate, also going to be playing today as per Jordan Schultz. He's good to go. The only guy I'm still waiting on is Raheem Mostert. He was limited Thursday and Friday with a chest injury. He looked like a game time decision so far, so I'm still waiting to hear more on that. Kenneth Walker, we do know, is good to go, and so is Sam Laporta in that same game. So two guys that are going to be active that we weren't 100% sure on. They're good to go. So that's all the news and notes that I got so far. I'll get you guys any of the incoming stuff as it comes. Right now, I don't have a ton in, so I'm going to get to your questions. So Patrick in the house, what's up? He's like, at least we don't have to worry about Big Blue losing today. I don't think Jones is probably he's getting ball there and has issues throwing the ball long because he has PTSD from his line last 5 years. Yeah, I mean, I thought he did okay with the short and intermediate, stuff, a little bit behind his receivers here and there. But yeah, his deep ball looks bad, but he has tons of time behind that line. That line has been looking great this season. So really like what the Giants have been doing. So Patrick goes, tough one. Pick one. Zach Moss, Jacoby Myers, David Montgomery, and Jackson Smith, JSN, and Rashid Shaheed. This is a tough one. Very tough. If it's full PPR, I think if it's half or full, I'm still going to go with. I have Montgomery ranked higher. I have him I have Jacobs ranked higher currently at 15. I have Jacobs at 15, Montgomery at 16, and Moss at 17. So I have all three. Yeah. Did I say someone else? Yeah, Josh Jacobs. No. I have all three of them ranked right next to each other. I do think Zach Moss has the better matchup of all of them. So I think I'm going to lean Zach Moss here. I think he has a better opportunity. Carolina's defense hasn't shown us anything, that they can stop the run currently. They are currently 28th against the run. I think I'm more than inclined to take the matchup here since I have everybody very close in rankings. I'm going to go with Zach Moss here. And then Patrick also asked Justin Tucker or Evan McPherson. Interesting picks. Justin Tucker is Justin Tucker. Can't really, fault him there. But I think I like Evan McPherson a little bit better. This game seems to be, let me see. I want all the points I can in this game. 47, point over under for that Bengals Panthers game. I think I'm going to roll with McPherson here, just because of that. I want more points in the other game. It's really not as high. It's around the same 46.5, but I definitely would prefer McPherson. I think they're going to have more opportunities to, get towards the 30 or 20 to be able to kick. So, So Worm in the house. What's going on, Worm? Great to see you, my friend. He goes, do I flex Jacoby Myers with Adams out, or do I keep Amari Cooper in? I'm keeping Cooper in. If you're trying to compare Deshaun Watson or Gardner Minshew in this case, I don't love Watson, but I think he's better than Minshew. So I would prefer to use the guy, the better quarterback in this matchup. Cooper is also a very talented receiver in his own right. So I think I'm going to stick with Cooper. I currently have Cooper at 15. And I don't even see, I'm still scrolling. Yeah, I have Jacoby at 46. I still got to move him up. I haven't moved him up since I heard the news about Adams. So for me, he's probably in the 20s, I would say. And, I'd rather have the wide receiver 1 than the wide receiver 2 in this scenario. So, Isaac, what's going on, man? Great to see you again. He goes, Diggs or Evans this week? That's a great question. I got news this morning. They definitely want to involve Mike Evans a little more in this matchup. I think that Mike Evans might be the better play overall. He is the one overall for his team. I have him ranked at 13. I have Diggs at 23. I think the matchup's better for Diggs overall. I think going against Slay is a little bit difficult, but I do think that Evans is going to be just fine this week. So I'm going to go with Evans here. Yeah, going to go with Evans. Oh, so Patrick says no Josh Jacobs. He says, I'm sorry, Josh Jacobs, Montgomery, or okay. I'm very confused. You mean no Zach Moss? Patrick? Just want to be sure here. I like Zach Moss. If you had to give me another guy, I'd probably go with Montgomery. It's based on who you're willing to give up. Dotson's going to be only for another week or so. So it's based on who you're dropping. I mean, if you have somebody that's just not producing and you want to have him on your bench so no one else has him, I don't think I'm playing him today. I want to see what they're going to do in this offense. I really do think that they're going to focus more on passing to Dallas Goedert overall in that particular matchup. Vita Vea is going to be playing. See, and that's the thing. I don't know if I could ever tell you to drop Lazard either, for a guy like Dotson. Lazard has been more involved in this particular offense. This game particularly, I don't see him being involved as much. It's, as Patrick knows, it's raining out in the Meadowlands right now. I think they're going to stick to more of a heavy run game script. So it might be difficult. And also the Broncos are the number 2 against wide receivers. So I wouldn't drop him, but I would keep him not for Dotson. Not worth my, Dotson's not worth my time at this point. Ray, what's going on, brother? Great to see you. 2 Giants fans in the chat. Always enjoy that. So he goes, pick 2. Waddle, Reed, Worthy, or Mooney. Full PPR. All right. So it's hard for me to trust Waddle, even if Snoop Hundley is going to be the quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. I think Snoop is a better quarterback than Skylar Thompson, but he's still limited on what he can do passing wise. I think he's more of a run first guy. He's kind of like Lamar light, if you will. I kind of like. I think Reed is a good play today with Jordan Love back, so I'm going to go Reed for sure. And if you're going between Worthy and Mooney, that's a tough one. 41 over under. Worthy going against 41. Both have the same over under, for the most part. I do think the Chiefs probably steamroll the Chargers at this point, so then that would take Worthy out. I think I'm going to go Mooney here, just because I think that they're going to, that game might be closer than the Chiefs and Chargers game. So I think I'm going to go with Mooney and Reed here. Believe me, it's tough to tell you not to play Waddle. I think Waddle, with 2 in the lineup, I would tell you without a doubt it would be Waddle and Reed, and I wouldn't have to think twice about it. But with Waddle, in this particular scenario with, Huntley, I have him currently, where is he? I have Tyreek Hill at 21, if that gives you any idea where Waddle would be. Oh, 37. Yeah. I have Worthy above him. I have Mooney a little bit lower, but I like Mooney's matchup a little bit better. Yeah. I think I'm going to stick with my Reed and Mooney at this point. Patrick goes Montgomery or Jacobs. All right, simple. So I'm actually playing both in one league. I think I would probably favor Montgomery in this particular scenario. Just be right now, the tough part is trying to find the matchup. I think Seattle's matchup currently is 29, Seattle's 29th against running backs. So I like that matchup against the line of the Lions, who, of course, unfortunately, are going to be missing Frank Ragnow, who's their all-pro center. But he wasn't really available last year either, and they still were able to move the ball pretty well. I think overall that line, they just do a great job at scheming things to work for them. So I think that overall, I would be probably rolling with Montgomery here, even if he's splitting with Jacobs, or not Jacobs, Gibbs. I mean, essentially, Jacobs is splitting with Emmanuel Wilson at this point. So I think I'm going to go Monty here. Patrick goes, cool, thanks, Mike. I have to run and run. I have a wake today. Oh no, get that in before I see you next week. All right, brother, be safe. Sorry about whatever or whoever your loss is. So I'm sorry. So yeah, so far this, like I said, some of the news that we've already heard. Justin Herbert looks like he's going to be playing today. Jordan Love looks like he's playing today. Chris Olave, who hurt himself in Friday's practice, is going to play today. I'm a little nervous about Olave overall. I have him currently at wide receiver 26. I think that I know that in most situations you probably have someone that you don't have anybody better than Chris Olave in most of your lineups, but I think that Olave is a very, very difficult play today. I rather have a lot of other guys than him at this point. It's a shame that Joe Mixon's out. A little upset by that. I kind of was hoping for him back, but it's promising. A lot of the reports that came out about his particular situation, he basically said he's pretty good for next week. So you can assume that Joe Mixon will be ready by next week, which is fantastic. We definitely want to see him next week. Let's see if there's any other news that's come through. Nothing crazy so far. Alvin Kamara will be playing today. Like I said before, he has a hip and rim injury. My expectation is that they're going to probably try to limit him a bit. Taysom Hill is active today and off the injury report, so they might try to squeeze him in there a little bit. I think they're going to try to limit Olave, even if he's healthy. I think they're going to try to limit him a little bit. Why hurt your best, your franchise receiver at this point? You're better off kind of easing him back. Rashid Shaheed has been doing fine. They do have other receiving options that they can play with. They also have been doing well against the run. I think memory serves me, Eric McCoy, their center, is also banged up. So they might want to kind of chill out with trying to pass the ball a little bit in this game and try to run it a little bit. So little things that kind of contribute altogether about that Saints offense as a whole. Keenan Allen's going to give it a go. Like I said, first time we're going to see Keenan Allen. Second time seeing Keenan Allen. So hopefully he can, help out that particular offense as a whole and get, Caleb Williams doing better. Caleb has struggled the last few weeks, except for last week. He did very well. So hopefully that we can see the same here. This Eagles offense is going to look really different without A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith injury shouldn't have happened. That was a blatant, headhunting thing, and it was disgusting to see, to be honest. So at this point, Juwan Dotson is next in line. Covey was there. He's on IR. So it's kind of hard to see what the pecking order is going to be. So we're going to have to wait and see how that goes. Shifty's 49er talk. What's going on, brother? Great to have you on the show. I hope all is well. For all those that are new to the show, make sure you guys are liking and subscribing to the show. We always enjoy that. Always helpful for the channel. He goes, hey, man, got a question. Can only start one. All right, cool. So Mixon's already out. So Mixon's out of the picture. so he will not be playing today. It's between J.K. Dobbins and Zach Moss. For me, it's going to be Zach Moss. I like the matchup that he has against the Panthers. Panthers ranked 28th against the run this season so far. I feel better about Zach Moss overall. I do, I like Dobbins, but I do think that he's going to be used in this particular game. I think the Chiefs are going to be up and they're going to have to continue to, utilize Dobbins where they can. He's very involved in the run game, but I do think their defensive front is better than the Panthers overall. If I have Dobbins in some situations, I have to play him. Like in one league, in my Dynasty league, I'm playing Dobbins, but I don't have wide receivers to play, so I need more. I need running backs. But I like Zach Moss overall. He can definitely, he has an opportunity to fall into the end zone. So I do like him. So yeah, going to go with Zach Moss for that. So Shifty, I hope everything is well. I hope you like and subscribe as well. For all those who didn't get to see it before, I didn't get, for those that are new to the show and new to our channel, this is our lineup for the next couple, this is what we're doing in season. So make sure you guys check it out. We're going to be back here Monday with our waiver wire ads. It's going to be at 9 p.m. Pacific, which is, technically the next day, 12 a.m. On Tuesday. And then Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific time, you got to meet with the CEO himself in the fantasy boardroom with Tycoon. And then, CEO of the fantasy boardroom. Let's put it that way. I know Ross would get mad at me if he heard that. Wednesday, we have our buy low, sell high at 9 p.m. Pacific. So make sure you guys check that out, as well as as well as Phil, who's doing a show on Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. And Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific. Wait, that doesn't make sense because he usually goes right up. All right. Don't listen to me because that's wrong. So it is what it is. So let me take that off. No problem, Shifty. That's what we're here for. So if anyone else has any questions, make sure you throw them in the chat. We got people watching. Here for you guys to throw out your questions, and now we'll get there. I'm also going to go over some DFS value picks, just casual DFS stuff that I don't dabble too much, but I have, I think I can find a deal for you guys if you're, into it or, play with your buddies. Definitely can find you guys some cheap options to kind of help you win your week. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. I will get to that once we go through our actives and inactives. I will give you up to the minute stuff. So I'm waiting to hear from everybody else. We are waiting to hear to make sure that some of these guys are actually active. So Dylan, what's going on, Dylan? Great to have you a part of the show. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. He says, start one quarterback, Baker Mayfield, Anthony Richardson, Caleb Williams, and then start two running backs, Jacobs, Walker, and Dobbins. Okay. So for the for the quarterbacks here, I'm going to go Baker Mayfield. Anthony Richardson is hard for me to play. Pittsburgh overall is a very good defense as a whole. Their front line is pretty good. They are currently ranked fourth against the QB this season. They're going to be, his rushing floor is hard to deny. So believe me, I understand where and why people would have that, why they have this question. Him and Baker are at like 12 and 13 for me. Caleb isn't really even close, so I don't even consider Caleb in this particular scenario. And, I would prefer going with the trusted passer that can get you a few yards on the ground with Baker. He's got great weapons with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. He's got a good running back overall to, take pressure off of him. I think the dynamic is better. But Richardson, unfortunately, just can't throw the ball, and he chooses not to. He tends to run more. So Yeah, that rushing floor is fantastic. Yeah, he's probably going to have a rushing touchdown here and there. I just prefer this. I'm a little bit more like I like consistency. I like a guy that's going to be consistent and get you, even if he gets you 18 points. If Baker gets you 18, I don't know what Richardson can give you other than at least maybe 8 points because of the rushing. We don't know what his passing can give him, because he's just not he's not a crazy accurate passer. Can he throw it deep? Of course he can. But he does have receivers that can go up and get it, and they're very talented. But I just honestly would prefer to go with Baker. Running back, if I'm going two, I'm going to go Jacobs. I'm going to go Jacobs and Dobbins. Walker scares me a little bit. I think even with his oblique injury scares me more than anything. Lions are number one against the running back so far. I think I'm going to stick with Jacobs and Dobbins here. I've seen what both can do, and I really enjoy. I just enjoy what Dobbins has been doing overall. So I'm going to stick with that. I've missed this question, so I apologize. I'm going back to it. He goes, need help. Full PPR, all different leagues. All right. So this is going to be fun. So start Andrews or Likely. Oh my God. Man, I'm sorry you have that particular scenario. My heart of hearts is going to tell you Andrews. They got to figure out that they got to use him somehow. Likely's just been overtaking that role overall. But it's hard for me to tell you to play Likely. Yeah, I'm going to go Andrews. And then start two, Akers, Waddle, and Jennings. Let's go with Akers and Jennings. No, Akers and Waddle. Unfortunately, with Debo coming back and you have Kittle coming back, you're going to see less of Jennings. Jennings will be involved, but not as much as he was last week. I think I'm going to go with Akers and Waddle here. As much as I know people want Jennings, I just don't think this is the week. And then he goes, start two running back, one tight end, one flex. Oof. Okay, so we got Monty, Akers, and Walker, Cole Kmet, Likely, and Michael Wilson. Okay. So one tight end out of that group I like is Cole Kmet. So just Cole Kmet's good. Two running backs, Monty and Akers. I will definitely do that. Then it's really between Walker, Likely, and Michael Wilson. I think I might go Walker, even though I just told you not to start him in that other league with Jacobs and Walker. I just full PPR. I don't trust Michael Wilson yet. Likely, I don't like playing tight end at flex unless it's an absolute, unless I have guys, the top tight ends, which in this case could be really anybody. So I think I'm going to stick with Walker for that particular one. So Monty, Akers, Walker, Kmet are the four that I'm playing there. So Chris Genevieve, what's going on, man? Yeah, Genevieve. Start two, Ford, Akers, and Pollard, full PPR. So for me, it's going to probably be Pollard for sure. I have Pollard pretty high. Pollard at 21. I have Akers at 20. So it's probably going to be Akers and Pollard. I think it's going to be those. Ford could be, I think Ford might have a decent game overall, but I mean, Raiders are ranked 22nd. They don't have Crosby. I mean, I have Ford at 23, Akers at 20, and Tony Pollard at 21. I do like the Akers matchup. No Luakon. He's out. He's one of their big run stoppers. This is a tough one. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with. I think I'm gonna stick to my rankings, even though I do like that Ford matchup against the Raiders. Yeah, Jags are 18th. against. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with going to go Akers and Pollard for this particular matchup. So Joe Ortiz, what's going on, brother? He goes, I still don't know what to do between Stroud and Daniels. I really need a win with that team. Yeah, that's a really tough one for me, to be honest. I like Stroud more in all situations. Cardinals particular matchup this week. Cardinals are 26th, so I understand your hesitancy. His legs alone are going to help you. I just like Stroud as a quarterback more. Yeah, I'm sticking with Stroud. It's hard for me to go with Daniels over Stroud in most situations. Yeah. Yeah, no. Daniels has been better. Don't get me wrong. I do like Daniel. I have Stroud and Daniels at 5 and 6. So it's very tough for me to say Daniels, but they are right next to each other. I don't think you can go wrong, in my opinion. Rafi, he goes, Carr or Darnold. I'm going Darnold, man. I know it seems weird, but I'm going Darnold. Really like Darnold in this matchup. So we're getting some actives and inactives. So hold tight. Don't worry. I see you, Ray. I will get to you in just 2 seconds. Let me just get through these particular ones. I'm going to tell you right off. Actually, I'm going to answer your question now. CJ Stroud, I'm going to have over those other two. I just like Stroud a lot better. I have him ranked at 5 over Carr, who's at 16, and Love. I have Love at like 21, if memory serves me. So I'm not 100% confident in Love today. It's a really good matchup, or it's a bad matchup for him. So we'll wait and see. So Saints, we found out automatically. We know Chris Olave is active. So is Alvin Kamara. Jair Alexander is going to be out today for the Packers. We kind of already knew that the way that it was talked about. So he will be out. Bucks currently will have Jalen McMillan. He's going to be out today. He's a really good rookie this year. Antonio Winfield is going to be out as well for the Bucks. Those are two big losses for them in the defense. No real surprises for the Bengals. BJ Hill and Sheldon Rankins are going to be out today. Same with Tanner Hudson. So those three will be out today, which is a shame. Just honestly, this really means that for that game, Chuba Hubbard might be a really good play. I might be moving him up a little bit, just because that is actually pretty telling, to be honest. CJ Mosley is going to be inactive for the Jets today in their matchup. We already know Jordan Love, Kamara, White, Bucky Irving, Chris Olave, Keenan Allen, and Vita Vea are all going to be active today as per Tom Pelissero. Joe Mixon, Jair Alexander, and CJ Mosley are going to be inactive today. Haven't seen anything outside the normal when it comes to these actives and inactives, other than what I just told you guys. Ian Rappaport confirming everything that I just said. So yeah, we got a lot of good, good news, not a lot of bad news, which is nice. But it's definitely something to monitor throughout the day, because those injuries, like I said, Chris Olave's injury is a little scary for me. When you do something, I will say that he's the only one that I've seen that tweaked his hamstring on a Saturday practice and is playing today. We had that same thing happen with AJ Brown. He didn't play and still hasn't played for 2 weeks. Same thing with George Kittle and a few others. It's a little odd that he's actually playing today. So very, very strange to see. So hopefully he's okay and everything's fine. But I don't know how much they're going to limit him or not. I actually have him in one of my leagues. I actually sat him for somebody else, but I do have a very very robust lineup, if you will. Texans official inactives. We already know Joe Mixon will be out. Tank Dell is going to be out today as well. Damian Pierce is going to be out, which means Cam Akers will be the lead back. It looks like Nico Collins will be active, even though he's been dealing with a little bit of a hamstring issue as well. He has really great home splits. So if you have it, Collins, enjoy that. The Jags also have 2 of their top corners out, so that should be fun as well. And that defense is just taking a beating from the fact that their offense can't do shit. All right. So if you guys have questions, make sure you guys throw them in the chat. Remember, we do have super chats on as well. So if you have any questions that you want me to get to right away, make sure you guys hit that super chat and I will get them. I'll get it right to you. Help support the channel. So I appreciate any of those that come through if there are any. So let's go right to our DFS value picks for today. I'm going to start with the QB. Of course, you have guys like Josh Allen at the very top at 9,200. I mean, not a bad price, but a little rich for my blood, to be honest. I'd prefer going in a different direction here. Sorry, just moving some screens around to make it easier. So for the value picks for me, I'm going to go down to Joe Burrow at 8,000. He has a really, really good matchup here. So I do like him and his value. What up, Rasta? Rasta in the house. So if you have any questions, make sure you guys are throwing them in the chat. Rasta and myself will help you guys get those answered. So next would be CJ Stroud, 7,800. I told you this matchup is going to be really good for him this week. They do have a good, Jags do have a good pass rush, but they are missing key pieces in their particular defensive lineup, and I think that will affect things overall. I do have Houston pretty high in this matchup. Next is going to be Brock Purdy right here at $7,700 going against New England. This is a good matchup for him as well. I do like his particular scenario. Next is a guy. I mean, I got to get my ginger, my ginger brother here, Andy Dalton, a shout out. $7,000 going against his. This is his former original team, the Bengals. I do think that in this case, this is what you would call a revenge game. I just like the narrative here for him. $7,000. He looked great last week, and everything is pointing in a good direction. So I do like this matchup a lot. Like I said, they're missing BJ Hill and Sheldon Rankings. I think that's significant as well for their front line. This is going to be a fun game to watch overall. All right, let's get to those running backs. So we have a few more running backs than we do quarterbacks. You could pay up for guys like, Saquon Barkley, who has been killing it. Jordan Mason, if you really want. Derrick Henry at $8,400, but I'm going to go a little bit lower on this particular scale. Aaron Jones today, another revenge game, but not really a revenge game. He's just going back to the Packers. He loves Green Bay, and Green Bay loves him. So this isn't a revenge game, but this is going to be a good matchup for him. $7,800 or $7,600. I like this particular price point for him. Another guy I like today is Brian Robinson Jr. going against the Cardinals. $7,300 is a great price for him. Another guy I like in this is Travis Etienne. This is more of a money type scenario. Like if you're low on cash and you're trying to find a guy, Travis Etienne is not a bad choice at $7,200 going against Houston today. Houston has that run funnel defense, or pass funnel defense, if you will. That they don't mind giving up yards through the, from the run, from running the ball. They usually are pretty good against the pass. So at this point, why not load up Travis Etienne? He's the only guy that's actually doing anything on that team anyway. Next is someone who I've talked about throughout the show is Zach Moss, $6,900 going against Carolina, one of the weaker defenses against the run. I really do think this is a great matchup for him, and for the price, can't beat that. Another guy I like is Stevenson here against San Francisco, $6,800. Javon Hargrave is out and, is out for the season. That's significant blow to that particular Niners defense. He is one of their biggest run stoppers, beyond Fred Warner, of course. But he is in a decent scenario here. He's involved in the passing game, $6,800. I don't hate that price point. Same with Najee Harris and Chuba Hubbard, $6,600 and $6,500. these are good particular numbers for them. Najee's going to have the whole backfield with Jalen Warren out, going against the Colts, who aren't the best against the run, but it's going to be the Harris show and the Cordero Patterson. So we'll have to wait and see. But Chuba Hubbard also has a good matchup. Like I said, BJ Hill is going to be out, as well as Sheldon Rankings. So that whole middle of the field is going to be wide open for him to run. So I do like Chuba. Another guy I like is Jerome Ford, $6,400 going against the Raiders today. Raiders are beat up. I do like this particular matchup for Jerome Ford. Another guy I like is Cam Akers, who I talked about in the beginning, going against Jacksonville. One of the biggest reasons, one, his price point is $6,100. They finally caught on and said, oh, he's better than the $4,000 that he was. Smart. Good job, Vandal. Yeah, he is facing the Jaguars. They are going to be without Faluakon. Jesus, I know he's the one guy I always try to get right. He will be out today, so just be aware of that. It's going to be a good game for him. I think Akers can do very well today. Another guy I really like, and it's really because of how much he cost. $5,700 going against the Rams, who have struggled in recent weeks against the run. I like DeAndre Swift in this particular matchup. I think he can do very well, especially at that price point. So if you're looking for a lower running back, he's definitely someone that I would target. All right, let's go to the very top again and get into these wide receiver options. Remember, if you guys have questions in the chat, make sure you guys throw them in there. I'll get to it as soon as possible. If you guys want to use that super chat, I will ask your question right then and there. So make sure you guys are doing that. So the top of the list, we got JJ, we got Jamar Chase, we got Rashid Rice. We also got Marvin Harrison Jr. at the top. So let's look a little bit lower. We don't want to spend that much money unless we have to. We got Chris Godwin going against the Eagles today, $7,300. I do like that particular matchup overall. T. Higgins is another guy, $7,200 going against Carolina. They have done nothing to stop the pass. I do think that T. Higgins can be involved, and $7,200 is a good price point. Stephon Diggs, I mean, going against the Jags have been, they lost their two top corners, and they've been struggling against the pass and just struggling in general. So for me, Stephon Diggs at $7,100 is a steal. I was gonna have Juwan Jennings in, but it was because I wasn't aware of Debo and Kittle. I don't think I'm gonna go with him today. Just because even with his price point, I think I'm going to try to avoid it overall. When you see both of those guys in the lineup, Jennings isn't really used. So, and especially to that extent. DJ Moore against the Rams, $6,500. This is the lowest you're ever going to see him. So might as well cash in while you can. Another guy is Amari Cooper. This is a revenge game for him going against the Raiders. $6,400. This is going to be a really nice one that I like here. Especially for his price point. Another guy I like is Deontay Johnson going against Cincinnati today, $6,200. It's really more the price point and usage. I think that they're going to use him as often as possible, and his price point's pretty good. So I do like that. I do like Khalil Shakir today at $6,000. He's definitely involved. Baltimore isn't great against the pass as much as they should be. And I do think that Josh Allen has been doing, well enough to spread the ball around. So I like Shakir in this particular matchup. Next one is Brian Thomas Jr. He is the best option that they have currently. And he's at $5,800. If you really are short on money, he would be the guy. Dwan Dotson, I mean, this is more of just the fact that no one else is there. $5,800. If you're really low and you need a wide receiver, he's probably your best bet. He's going to be a very big chalk play today, really just because of his price point, and everyone's going to want to get they want a share of him just because why not? He's their only passing option other than Dallas Goedert. So they're going to want to get him involved. Jacoby Myers is my next guy up. Jacoby Myers is all the way down here at $5,400. He's another guy that I really like today for DFS. I also like Andre Yoshivash at 5,500. Yeah, he might be the third wide receiver, but he is their current. He is top 5 and top 3 in red zone targets for the NFL, inside the 20 and so on. I like Yoshivash a lot. In some leagues, you can definitely play him, but this week, if you want DFS, he's the guy. I like him a lot. Xavier Legette is my next guy. Really, just because of Adam Thielen being out, he will be a lot more involved. They drafted him in the, they came up in the first round to go get him for a reason. We definitely see Andy Dalton taking advantage of using his wide receivers. Legette is a great option here. So then we have Elijah Higgins. Now, for those that don't know, Elijah Higgins is the tight end for the Cardinals. Now, the reason why I'm picking Higgins is because he's he's listed as a wide receiver. He's technically a tight end. So you're getting, in this particular case, he's going to be where Trey McBride is, and he's going to be involved as much as what Trey McBride might have been. And you're getting him as a receiver at $4,900. You can't beat the price. So Elijah Higgins, not a horrible choice here. Calvin Austin is another guy I like a lot in this game. $4,900 going against the Indianapolis Colts. I think he's going to be I think he's going to be very involved in this particular matchup overall, just because with Jaylen Warren out, they use Austin more in the backfield, and he's used more as like a running back or like a screen guy, and he can definitely break through and do well in screen passes and so on. So I do like Calvin Austin in this matchup. All right, before I get to my tight end people, we got a few questions in the chat. We got Drew Lario. What's up, man? You just missed your long lost cousin, my friend. He was just here. It's always great when I get both of you on the show. He goes, Juwan Jennings, Ladd McConkey, or Quentin Johnston today. Ooh, that's a tough one. I don't like either or all of these guys. So if I'm going with one, I can't go Jennings, unfortunately. I know he did really well last week, but with Kittle and Debo coming back, I can't do it. Quentin Johnston and or Ladd McConkey here. I might go Johnston, just because he seems to be the one. Ladd is more of a slot, and he's more of the slot guy and underneath guy. Maybe that might be the best thing for him. You know what? I'm going to switch to Ladd. And it's really, like I just said, you're playing with Justin Herbert hurt. So this is going to be a tough one. But yeah, I don't think you can pick wrong here. But I think I might lean Ladd just a smidge. I got Ronald in the house. What's up, Ron? How you doing, brother? He goes Higgins or Pickens. I'm going Higgins without even thinking twice about that one. And Pickens or Deontay Johnson. I'm going to probably lean Deontay Johnson. I'm not a big Pickens fan overall. It's very rare that you're going to see me pick Pickens over somebody else. So I'm going to go with Deontay here. Perry Williams in the house. What's up, Perry? He goes, yo, Mike, how about them boys? Yeah, no. It's still heartbreaking. We had that game. So Perry Williams goes flex to London, Brian Robinson Jr., Brock Bowers, Khalil Shakir, Brian Thomas Jr., or Carson Steele. Flexing 2 here. I'm flexing London for sure. That one I don't have to think too hard about. The next one's a little bit more difficult for me. I do like Bowers a lot. I don't know why you're not having him in your tight end spot. I probably would have just had Bowers in the tight end spot for the most part. But yeah, I think I'm going to go Bowers. I think London and Bowers are going to be my two. Really just because of what, Devontae Adams being out, Bowers is going to be heavily involved. I do like Drake London, so that's what I'm going with. Ross is going to tell you something here. He's going to tell you Brian Robinson and Bowers, but I do like London in this matchup. Let's see. Let me see. Oh, so Ronald goes, yeah, DJ has the groin. What's up, Ron? Yeah, I don't care about that. He's been dealing with that all season. He still played well last week. Not really worried about that. MMA Outlawed. What's up, brother? He goes, what up, G? What up, bro? He goes, need flex. PPR, London, Shakir, or Wilson. I mean, these are great options to have. I think I have to pump the brakes a little bit on Garrett Wilson today, just because he's going against Patrick Surtain. Yeah, I know he goes against our, Sauce Gardner. We had this conversation on our show on the part 1 with me and Kendall. For me, hold on one sec. Okay, I was wondering why. Anyway, for me, it's going to be. I want to say London or Shakir. I think it would be London over Shakir in this particular scenario. I do like Wilson, but like I said, it's raining out in MetLife. I think they're going to try to keep everything on the ground. Denver is struggling against the ground. They just lost Alex Singleton. I think that they're going to try to take advantage of that, which is just run the ball with Braylon. They have 2 strong big backs. Go with, Breece Hall and Braylon Allen and just, run that thing all day long. So I think that Wilson will be limited a little bit. I do like London and Shakir, but I think I'm going to have to go with London here overall. Drew asks, forgot, I also have Jamison Williams. Still Ladd? No, go Jamison Williams over Ladd. That I will tell you all the time. Go with Jamison Williams. Jamison Williams. A-Rock, what's going on, brother? Glad to see you here. Always glad to see you. He goes, Garrett Wilson or Zach Moss. Damn. I want to be in these leagues. I want to be in these damn leagues. Because how you guys having Garrett Wilson and Zach Moss as your flex options is crazy to me. I'm going with Zach Moss. And it's weird to even think that, but it's really just like the same argument that I had above with Garrett Wilson. I'm playing Garrett Wilson in most of my scenarios just because I have Garrett Wilson as a starter over a flex play. But Zach Moss has a better matchup overall going against the Panthers. It's just hard for me. And I also think they're going to be in positive game script, which is just run. Garrett Wilson's scenario, yeah, they're going to have to pass it a ton, but it's going to be rainy. It's going to be gross in the Meadowlands. It's just, I don't know. And Surtain is going to Surtain's good at his job, man. They paid him for a reason. So, I think I'm going to stick with Zach Moss here. So Perry goes, when you guys draft Cam Ward next year, it'll be on the upside. Yeah. So Patrick G Mafia, what's going on, Patrick G? How you doing, man? If you guys are new to the show, make sure you guys are liking and subscribing if you haven't already. He goes Ramondre Stevenson, T Higgins, Akers. Pick 2 non-PPR. All right. You also have Shakir. Okay. So if I'm picking 2, of course, that's what I'm here for. I'm here for you guys, man. That's what I'm here for. Anything you guys need, let me know. I'm going to be here for as long as you guys have questions. So Patrick goes Ramondre, Higgins, Akers. So normally in non-PPR, I'm looking for the guy with the tight, I'm looking for the touchdown upside. And, the touchdown upside for these guys, I'm probably going to lean Akers and Higgins, I think, are going to be my 2. I think Akers and Higgins are probably your best bet, even with Shakir. I like Higgins for an opportunity today. Akers as well. I think the matchup versus the 49ers scares me a smidge for Ramondre. So I'm going to go with T. Higgins and Akers here. So Perry Williams goes flex 1. Stevenson, Waddle. Is White almost droppable for Shakir? I wouldn't. I like Rashad White more than most. I think he has an opportunity to do well in this particular offense. I know his efficiency has gone down, but he's still involved in the pass game. So it keeps his floor up a little bit. Stevenson has a tough matchup. Waddle, I don't know if I trust Huntley. Full PPR, I'd probably lean Waddle. If Shakir's available in this particular league, I'm not dropping White for him, but I would drop somebody else to pick up Shakir. I'd probably play Shakir over, maybe not over Stevenson, but it's hard to trust Stevenson in this matchup. The only good side for the Patriots in this matchup is that Javon Hargrave is out. So Patrick goes, man, I have, thanks, man. I have Ramondre on the bench. Yeah. I have Ramondre on the bench in a couple leagues. And, it's hard to play him over a bunch of other guys in the lineup that I have, especially for the one that I have for him. And I know that I have somebody in this chat that wants him very badly and hasn't given me gave me a good offer. I just didn't want to take it. So yeah, I mean, I have Stevenson at 25 right now. So let me do this. So Patrick goes, thought on the Texans defense. Yep. The answer is yes. Just play the Texans, man. I have the Texans all over the place. I have Texans I think I have out of my 9 leagues, and I think I have like 4 leagues that still use defenses. I have Texans in pretty much every league. So, and I've been using them the last few weeks. I like the Texans in this matchup against the Jaguars, even though it's been one of those, situations where Texans are like a bend break type thing, and they had a rough game last week, but I think they're going to turn that around this week. So what's up, Hood? He goes, hey, Mike, enjoying the show. Thanks, man. If you guys are enjoying the show, make sure you guys are liking and subscribing to the show. We have the ticker below that's showing you guys when our particular shows are, so make sure you guys check that out. He goes, it's a half-point PPR league. Debo, Braylon Allen, or Quinton Johnson. Ooh. In most scenarios, I'm definitely gonna tell you Debo. I know he's coming back from his calf injury. I'm gonna tell you Debo. But there's a caveat. I think Braylon Allen could have a game today. I think. I don't want to I have this weird feeling that it's going to be one of those games that you sit there and you're like, why didn't I play him? And why is he still on my bench? Broncos are 21th against the running back at this moment. Okay. Singleton, Alex Singleton, their best middle linebacker is out. They focus more on the pass than they do on the run. And it's crappy, really crappy in MetLife right now. For those that don't live in, the Northeast, it is rainy and gross at MetLife. If you watch any of the morning shows this morning, a lot of them, raining the whole time. It's going to be a tough one, but it's hard for me to tell you to play Braylon Allen over a guy like Debo. I'm going Debo, but it's very close because I really do like Braylon Allen today. So MMA Outlawed, what's going on? He goes, how long have you been playing fantasy for? So I've been doing fantasy football, 2006, 2005, something like that. I'd say 5, 6 roughly, if not earlier than that. Been doing this a long time, my friend. Really enjoy football, really enjoy everything about it. Learned a lot from it. So yeah. Ronald goes, Singletary fucking me this week. Yeah. It's unfortunate. I like him. I love him as a running back. It's hard to start every week because, I do love him though. I think he's a really good, solid running back overall. I think he's more of a better real life running back than fantasy, but that's just me. So Perry goes, we have 2 wide receiver, 3 flex lineup with 4 bench spots. I want Shakir, but can't give anything for him. Have Waddle, White, Mixon, Jaden Daniels. He's starting this week for me. Yeah, I get that. I can't drop White, though. Hard for me to drop White. Rasta goes, someone on this stream playing a nice game of keep away with all the one. Yay. I have a bunch of running backs that are good. I need something better. I do need wide receiver depth, but no one's been offering me anything good. So can't really do that. Patrick goes, I have Braylon Allen too. I think he goes off, tonight or tough to start. I agree. Yeah, it's so tough, but he could do well for you, but I would probably go with Debo and just, be happy that he's on your team and not on someone else's. Yeah. Okay. I'm just going to make this is actually a fun question for me, actually. Well, not it. There's no question mark to it, but this is a fun conversation, to be fair. People that have 4 bench spots comparative to like 4 or 6, or sorry, like 5 or 6, and them saying the excuse is that it's more competitive to have less on the bench. No, it's actually more competitive to have more bench spots than it is to have less, because you have more options available to you to try to figure out what to do. And it's also a defensive battle for other people. So I like more bench spots than less, but it doesn't make it less competitive. Like, no, I think having, or it doesn't make it more competitive in this case. No, I think that it's just a dumb thing to have less. So that's just me. No problem, Hood. That's what we're here for. Anthony goes, are you sure we're not going to see Decoy Samuel today? No, I think he'll be out there and he'll do just fine. Mike's from a time where QBs went in the first round. I do remember the years of Tom Brady being, drafted in the first round many of times. So Dangerous Toys, what's going on, brother? He goes, here's my set lineup. Okay. Kyle Murray, Zach Moss, Akers, Collins, Size, Kincaid, Mari Cooper, and the Texans D. Kicker is Fairbairn. Perfect. Love that combo. Bench is Walker, Steele, Garrett Wilson. Everyone else is hurt. Yeah, man, that's tough, but I like it. I like the lineup. I like it a lot. Patrick G. Mafia goes, good luck, guys. Peace. Great to have you here, Patrick. Make sure you guys, if you haven't already, like and subscribe to the show. Always helpful for us. So make sure you guys are doing that. He goes, man, this is my 22nd season playing fantasy football. Sheesh. Yeah, man. When I look back every time, I'm like, holy crap. I just had my 20-year high school reunion, and it's just short of that. It's like I started playing just out of high school. I think it was like when I was 19. And it's just nuts to think that I've been playing for that long. I had we started with like an 8-team league, and then we've grown it to what it is currently, which is a 10-team 2-person keeper league for my home league. And I love it. I won so many of those, the 8-team ones. I have like 2 titles from that and a few others before we started doing keepers, but yeah, I enjoy it. So, this is a great question. Would you play Braylon over Najee? Maybe, but it's hard. I honestly would probably play Najee over Braylon, but it's if you want. I have Braylon Allen at 30 and Najee at 22. It's not far off, my friend. I don't hate that. I really don't. I really like him today. We'll see what happens. But yeah. So Ronald goes, I agree. More bench spots is harder, not easier. Correct. 4 bench spots is gross. So Rasta goes, if you only have 4 bench spots, there better be like 4 IR. Yeah, 100%. I think that is absolutely ridiculous to have 4 bench spots and then no IR. Every league should have at least 1 IR in one way or another. I prefer it to be 2, just because I think that that's more reasonable, and it kind of keeps it keeps a good roster churn, if you will, where you can like import, bring in other guys. But man, just don't get it. Yeah, completely understand. He goes, just makes roster or waivers more important. No Warren is out. Got to play Najee. Yeah, you got to play Najee. So Najee's following his spot. Yeah, no. I'm not. For some people, if you guys want to be squirrely and you're in those scenarios where, let's just say you're really up and you wanted to see what happens today with Brett, with Allen, I'm all for it. But I'm playing Najee in 99% of the situations. So Perry goes, it's only 3 IR. I'm talking to this commissioner now. You gotta, it doesn't make it more competitive. It actually makes it less competitive, and it makes it more of an annoyance with waivers and stuff. Like, yeah, okay, cool. And then you better hope you have Fab as your particular, waiver priority for that. Because if you're using regular rolling priority, it's stupid. You need to at least have Fab if you're going to use 4 bench spots with 3 IR. I mean, the 3 IR is good comparatively, but it makes it more of a pain, and you're really just turning your roster every so often. And yeah, I there's no no real fun with it. So Ray W goes, I'll make you feel young. I started in 1996. I was running beyond. Oh wow, Barry Sanders and Waters, Brett Favre QB, newspaper stats. Hey man, that's fucking cool. I'm not gonna lie, that's really cool. I had Brett Favre for a lot of years for a lot of the leagues I was in. I can always go back and tell you guys that I've gone with and ran with a lot, but that's nuts. I love that though. I love hearing of guys that have played back prior to 2000s and before like the apps became a thing. That's freaking cool. Love it. Absolutely love hearing that. All right, so I only got tight ends and I got tight ends and defenses to give you guys real quick. Let me just run those down, and then we're going to start slowly wrapping things up unless you guys have questions. So make sure you guys keep throwing those questions in the chat. Tight end values for you guys, just so you can see them. Dallas Goedert is, of course, the top pick today, and I don't blame you. I'm not touching Kelsey with a 10-foot pole. But if you go a little bit lower, Brock Bowers, man, I'm going to choose him every week until his price goes up. $6,500, insane. I do like the Kincaid number at 6,100. I think they've been spreading the ball out and he's been used a little bit more lately. I do like this. I really do. Next one I do like Mark Andrews for 6,000 here. It's just a good price point. I know he hasn't been used, but it's definitely more of a risk. Mike Gesicki at $5,600 against Carolina. They've been involving him a lot too. So I really do like that as well. Cole Kmet, $5,300. Can't go wrong with that, honestly. And last but not least is Tyler Conklin. He's at $5,100 going against Denver. They're good against the pass, but I think they're better against the wide receiver than they are against tight end. So I might go with Tyler Conklin. And I only have 2 defenses for you this week, just because everything's pretty chalk overall. But the biggest ones that I like are the Chiefs going against the Chargers. I mean, Justin Herbert is basically immobile. He's basically just going to drop and throw. And he can't really move out of the pocket, so sacks are going to be heavy and mistakes are going to be made. Chiefs for this matchup, I like a lot. Texans, I also like a lot. I talked about it before. Trevor Lawrence hasn't shown us anything really. So for me, I do like Trevor Lawrence in this particular matchup. So those are the 2 that I am aiming for this week. All right, let's get back to your questions for all those that have them. So if you have any more, make sure you guys throw them in the chat. I'm going to be here as long as you guys have questions. Otherwise, I'm going to get the hell out of here. We got MMA Outlawed. He goes, all right, last one I'm struggling with is start 3. Higgins, Roma Dunze, Garrett Wilson, Rice. I have Wilson out right now, or Waddle. So Wilson being out is fine, but you can't not start Rice. Start Rice every week. Higgins is my other one. And man, this is a tough one. 99% of the time, I'm not going to tell you to play Rome Odunze over Rome. Rice and Higgins for sure. Just those are locks. Don't have to think twice about that. Man. I can't play Rome over Wilson, man. I just can't do it. I can't do it. I have Garrett at 10 and Rome Odunze at like 30, 38. To me, that's too big of a gap. That's too big of a gap, man. Just I would play Rice, Higgins, and Wilson at this point. Waddle, I can't trust. Waddle is the better option in the concept of like, oh no, I have Waddle at 7. Oh God, I have Waddle at 34 or 37. Yeah, I'm sticking with Higgins, Wilson, and Rice, man. I don't like the matchup for him, but I can't play Rome Odunze over him. I just can't. Can't do it. Dad. Just kidding. That's cool. That's cool. I like that. Ray goes pick 2. Chuba Hubbard, Deontay Johnson, Jennings, Pickens, full. I'm gonna go Hubbard and Deontay. It's very rare that I pick 2 in the same game and 2 from the same team. But I do like this matchup for them. I do think that Hubbard can do well today. And he's involved in the pass game. I'm gonna go Hubbard and Deontay here. Classic. He goes group or Matthew Prater. Oh, I'm gonna go Prater. I like Prater. Prater going against who's he going against? Prater's going against Commanders. Yeah, I'm going Prater here. Yeah. Yeah, you do. That's a tough one. So the news on CMC is he's not coming back till probably November. I called this weeks ago. Like he had Achilles tendonitis. This was more than what they were talking about, more than what they were reporting in general. It's not something that will come back. Like it's not something that he's just going to come back from. It's going to take some time. I'm pretty. I think the November is pretty telling. Early November is probably the best guess. I mean, they're definitely a lot more. They have a lot more information than I do, but I'm telling you, be careful. You should have had Jordan Mason the whole time if you didn't already, but it's okay if you didn't. But I'm pretty sure for me, and I said it at the beginning of the year, he was the sketchiest 101 pick out of everybody. I'm glad I'm still right. So Anthony goes, then I think it's Rome even with Allen back. Patrick Stan is that dude, hasn't allowed a number 1 receiver to get more than 26 yards, including Evans, DK, etc. Not like it was nobody's. Yeah, no, I get it. It's tough for Rome though, especially with Allen back, in my opinion. But I get what Ross is saying, man. I don't think you can go wrong with your choice there, Outlaw. Yeah. If you have Wilson on the bench, stick with it. Stick with your gut. Go with Rome. It's just hard for me to tell you to do that. That's all. Like to give you that advice is hard to do. Just from my perspective, I'm trying to be correct here. It's very tough. I do think Rome is not a horrible choice, but he's 3rd in the pecking order, maybe 4th. We'll see. Wilson's just the 1 in the pecking order. So Outlaw goes, they have Rome at 2.5 catches on books. That seems ridiculous. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to put a bet out, I would do that. I mean, I've talked to my buddy Kendall a bunch of times on here, and honestly, sometimes it's great to hedge your bet. Sometimes you play Wilson, and then you play a prop for Rome, or you do the opposite, and it's you get your money's worth either way. So honestly, I think I mean, you're smashing the over for that, but it's odd that they have them at 2.5 right now. I would probably. Yeah, and that's the whole thing. Wilson's prop is probably 5.5 is my guess. So I would probably lean towards him just because of the prop. But like Roster said, he's been shutting down guys like DK and Mike Evans. So it's hard to tell you to not play him. But this would be the week for it. I should have put him on the thumbnail. Hudson George, what's going on, man? Great to see you here. He goes, need one for the flex. Full PPR. Zach Moss, Jaden Reed, Scary Terry, or Olave. These are great players to choose from. I'm gonna go with Jaden Reed. I do like Zach Moss's matchup today. Scary Terry's been doing great as of late. They're finally starting to get him involved. He's going against Carolina or the Arizona Cardinals, who are okay. They're not great. Chris Olave, I just don't trust today. His hamstring injury is kind of scaring me off from him. Yeah, he's going to play. Yeah, he's active, but is he out there every play? Probably not. I think he's going to be out there on third downs and selected plays. So I think his usage is going to be down a little bit. So I just don't trust it. Zach Moss, like I said, I love his matchup against the Panthers today. Panthers are, I think, 28th against the run. Kind of nice matchup, but I do like Jaden Reed in this particular matchup with Jordan Love coming back. So yeah, I think and it's full PPR. I feel a little bit better with Jaden Reed in that scenario, and yeah, especially for the in the flex spot, I usually like going running back, but here I like Jaden Reed a little more. Ethan R, what's going on, Ethan? Glad to have you here. He goes, need one. Alexander Madison or Ladd McConkey. Lost Devontae due to injury. Projected to lose by 20. Needs some upside. Okay. I think you're gonna have to lean Madison here. And the reason why I say this is because they've been using him a lot in negative game script. He's involved in the pass game. I think in this particular game, they're going to, I mean, right now they are underdogs by 2.5. So I don't mind that particularly for me. I think that Madison is probably your best bet. Ladd McConkey, I just don't trust yet. Justin Herbert being hurt also. I feel better with a guy that I know that is more guaranteed to touch than a guy that is unsure of and might be getting a really bad ball thrown to him. So I like Madison a little bit more in this matchup, or with your choices and his matchup. So, yeah, see me like. Nice. What's going on, man? Great to see you. He goes, drop one. Kendrick Miller, Trey Tucker, Josh Downs, or Ty Chandler. For me, it's Kendrick Miller. He's not really shown me anything, and like I said, I know he's hurt. I know he's been on the IR. I just don't trust him. Josh Downs is going to get better. They're going to involve him more in the offense since he came into the season hurt. Ty Chandler is going to get involved more, and he's the handcuff for Aaron Jones. Trey Tucker, you could probably, if you disagree with what I have to say about Miller, and Trey Tucker is probably your next best bet to drop. He's only going to be viable this week. Once Devontae Adams comes back, then he's involved. I mean, honestly, or he'll be less involved. So, I mean, maybe Trey Tucker over Miller, but I just don't trust Miller. I just don't trust his, whole scenario. Yeah, but even with Kamara banged up, they're going to go to Jamal Williams first, and they have Taysom Hill. Right now, it's just how I feel about it. Adams is not. I know they keep having reports about him being traded and so on and so forth, but the Jets need to be well in contention for a playoff run. Two, they would offer the world to get him, and he can't be hurt. I just don't see it. And even if he is traded, Trey Tucker to me is nothing. I don't even think I have Trey Tucker ranked this week. I'm looking for him currently on my rankings. Trey Tucker is 82. 82. 82 other receivers. Even if, let's just say, Adams isn't there next week, Trey Tucker isn't going to go any higher than probably my 60. Trey Tucker for me is worth more, is worth less to me. Kendrick Miller, you always need running backs, so I understand it. But Trey Tucker, I would get rid of before I got rid of Josh Downs and Ty Chandler. I think, the guys, the way I would probably do it is Trey Tucker before Miller, but I just don't like Miller. I think he's just a tease. They teased him all offseason saying he was going to be good and, that he would be ready and maybe could take over. And I'm like, you haven't shown me otherwise. It's what you've done for me lately, my friend. So Roscoe's need one between hurt guys or tear down to healthy guys. Debo, Olave, Allen, or Lockett. No problem, brother. That's what I'm here for. This is a tough one. All three of them are hurt. Lockett's the only one that's not hurt. Lockett going against the Lions. Lions are currently 30th against the wide receiver. Lockett might not be a horrible option, bro. I don't mind Lockett. I probably would play Debo over Lockett, but if you're not feeling Debo's injury and you think he's going to be if you think he's going to be that, decoy, yeah, Lockett might be your better bet out of the three that are there. I just can't pick Olave. I think Olave is more banged up than all of them. So Ethan R goes, Chase Brown is also an option over Madison, but I don't like Brown's snaps shares thus far and don't believe he has great upside. Thoughts? No, he has. I think he has great upside. I think the problem is they're not involving him. If they involved him a little bit more, I'd be more than inclined to tell you Brown, but I think Madison is probably your best bet over these particular scenarios. But for me, yeah, it's got to be Madison. Chase Brown to me is pretty much droppable. I love his upside for if he were to be the only guy. Like, he is a strong handcuff for Zach Moss. If he were to get the run, he's going to get 80% of the snaps. Right now, it's 80 Zach, 20 Chase, and it just is what it is there. So MMA Outlawed goes, just made a prop of Pickens over yards, CJ over yards, Rome over 2.5. Smart. Like that one. Kyler 2+ touchdowns. Okay. Breeland over 50 passing, receiving, and score. Wow. Okay. 20 over. Oh, wow. I like it. Good luck to you there, MMA. I like it a lot. All right. So we got Kyler Singer in the house. Thank you for joining today. Thank you for the likes. He's telling me sending the likes, and thank you. He goes Ford or ETN full PPR. You can't get cute here. I don't always like ETN, but he's the best on their team. He's been getting 10, roughly 10 points. A little more than 10 points in full PPR every week. I currently have him at 14. I have Jerome Ford at 23. So that tier is a little bit different for me. I do like ETN a little bit better here. So I'm going with ETN. Sometimes can't get cute with it. So Ungat, what's up, man? Great to have you here. Always great to see you. He goes, Cortland Sutton versus the Jets, Darnell Mooney versus the Saints, or Myers versus the Brown. Half PPR. I need one. I think I'm going to go Jacoby here against the Browns. Negative game scripts. I think that game is a little bit better for him in general. I think him and Gardner could have a good connection. Yeah. I like Myers here. I love Cortland Sutton. It's a shame, but he's going against he's going against Sauce. And on top of that, Bo Nix is still getting used to throwing the ball. He's more, he's solid passing the ball, and I think he's an overall good quarterback, but I think he still needs time to develop to be able to, do well in this offense. Darnell Mooney, I really do like a lot, but unfortunately, if you have a guy like Myers in his scenario where he's going to be the volume hog, or might be the number 2 option behind Bowers, I think I'm going to stick with Myers here. And that's what he got, which is exactly what I thought. Anthony saying hi to Ungas. We always enjoy him. Ungas is a friend of the podcast, always involved in a lot of what we do. So great to see him here. All right, so let's get those last minute start sit questions in there. I'm going to be wrapping this up any minute. Make sure you guys are following our other podcasts as well. We have the Fantasy Football Tavern here with Kendall. He's here with me every Friday, so make sure if you guys want some hot takes and cold beers, go take a seat and listen to Kendall. And also the Extra Point with Phil Ruskin. Make sure you guys check him out. Everyone likes scoring touchdowns, but you got to come out and kick that extra point. So tune in with Phil on the Extra Point. He's here every Wednesday and Thursday. And then also check out the Fantasy Tycoon himself, the CEO, the head of the boardroom, whatever you want to call him, aka good old Tycoon. He will be in the Fantasy Boardroom on Tuesdays, so make sure you guys check him out as well. Ungas goes, another question would be Cam Akers versus the Jags. Load them up, my friend. As I said, Fu'Alua Khan is going to be out today. Load him up. He goes Cam Akers versus the Jags or Ford versus the Raiders. Stevenson versus the Niners. I'm taking Stevenson out of that equation. It's between Akers and Ford. I have Akers at 20, Ford at 23. Matchup-wise, Ford might have the better matchup overall and more usage, but I do think that Cam Akers is going to be heavily involved overall. Fu'Alua Khan, their all-pro middle linebacker, is going to be out for this game, moving Devin Lloyd in. So I do think that this is going to be a helpful game, and I do think that Cam Akers is going to be involved. So he's gotten the last 2 weeks, did okay, fell into the end zone, which helped his day, but I do see that game being a little bit better just for the fact that it's a 44.5 over-under comparative to the Raiders, which is 36.5. So I probably would want to lean more towards the game that has more points, and that's going to be Akers. So Roberto Perez, what's up, Roberto? He goes, what up? Shakir, Garrett Wilson, Reed, Deontay Johnson, or Zach Moss at the wide receiver 2 in flex. I'm going to go Deontay Johnson and Zach Moss. No, Deontay Johnson and Jalen Reed. Deontay Johnson and Jalen Reed. Those are going to be my 2 for those. Tycoon is the Fanta CEO is what we're looking for, aka the best dressed man in fantasy. Yeah, Papa Conks. Hey, man, I can't remember all his, damn AKAs. So many. Ungas goes, sounds good. I had Stevenson on, but I'll go with Akers. Yeah, Stevenson's hard to trust against the Niners in this game. Niners, the one thing they have been giving up is the run. They're 24th against the run so far. Or no, that's wide receivers. My bad. They're actually, I put my foot in my mouth, 7th against the run. So, yeah, I would avoid that matchup if need be. David in the house. What's going up, David? He goes, likely Conklin or Zach Ertz for tight end for this week. Defenses, do I take Vikings, Falcons, Arizona, Bengals, or the Rams? Woo, you got a lot there. Well, first and foremost, I think I like Conklin in this matchup against the Broncos overall. Broncos are 32nd against the tight end. So I do like Conklin here. I'm going to go with Conklin and Vikings, Falcons, Bengals, Rams, Cardinals. Rams. I mean, if you want to pick on the rookie, it's the Rams. Bengals, it's going to be tough for me to tell you, even against the Panthers with Dalton in. Arizona going against the Commanders with Jalen. Jaden's been doing pretty well. Falcons are going against a really good offense. Hard to do. Packers are, Love coming off the injury and they're not at home. You got a lot of good options here. I think I would go with I think I'm going to go Arizona. Arizona's defense. So roster goes Niners haven't been great against the run. Just got lit up by Kyron Williams. Don't mind Stevenson, but Akers should have a decent day with all the injuries to the Jags defense. Alua Khan is a huge loss. He really is. So Perry Williams goes, is dropping Waddle for Shakir really that dumb? Shakir could be a wide receiver one. I wouldn't do it. Tua will be back in a couple weeks, and then you're going to see Waddle go back to his original state. Shakir is not bad at all. He's definitely the wide receiver 1A or B in the Bills offense. So I don't hate it. I can't do it. I can't do it. I rather you call me dumb for not doing it, and then you pick up Shakir and Shakir goes off and has a day. I just personally could never do it. Just can't. Waddle's much better of a wide receiver than Shakir. Ray, he goes pick 2. Jalen Reed, McLaurin, Brian Robinson, or Brandon Ayuk. I think I'm going to go with Reed for sure. I think Reed is going to go, do well today with Jordan Love back. And Brian Robinson. I think I'm going to go Brian Robinson. Cardinals are 31st against the running back. Yeah, I'm going to go Brian Robinson here. Ayuk, we need to wait. I think maybe Kyle Shanahan goes, nope, you're not going to start for the first series. We'll see. David, he goes, starting lineup this week is Dak, Breece Hall, Bijan. Nice. How do you have Breece Hall and Bijan? Lucky bastard. He goes, Darnell Mooney, Chris Olave, Dalton Kincaid, T. Higgins. I have Rome Odunze, Worthy, and Keenan Allen on my bench. Is this the right lineup? Yeah. Yeah, you have the right lineup. The only thing that I would change, no, you already have T. Higgins in. Yeah, no. I like this lineup. Chris Olave is the only one that I'm a little nervous about. If anything, I would switch out Odunze or Allen for him, just because I don't know how much I trust Chris Olave in this game with his particular hamstring injury. If anything, he's going to be out there limited, if anything. So I'm a little nervous about that, to be honest. Ungats goes, if my bets go accordingly, I should be going to sleep with 1K. Hey, man, we all wish we could go to bed with 1K extra. Theo Washington, what's up? He goes, bro, Garrett Wilson or Shakir? See, this one is a little closer for me. I do like Shakir. I think the matchup is better overall. Baltimore currently is like 12th again, middle of the pack against the wide receiver, while the Broncos are number 2, just right next to the Jets. So for me, I'm going to have to go with Shakir in this particular matchup. I think he has a better opportunity to score and better overall situation. Garrett Wilson's going to be against Patrick Surtain. It's crappy as could be at MetLife. Currently, it was raining when, last I looked at it. I'm out on Long Island and, we're having a crap day too. Thankfully, it's not windy, which is nice. But otherwise, it's going to be raining and gross there. So David goes, I feel like I'm lacking in receivers. Are there any trades I should be making? I have Olave, Higgins, Odunze, Worthy, and Allen. I just traded Mooney and Ertz for Mike Evans. Who are players to go get? Very loaded question overall. You do have Breece Hall and you have Breece Hall and Bijan, which congrats. was not expecting to see a lineup with those two in it. You could probably trade one of those two to get something, get a running back 2 and then a, solid wide receiver 2. That could be one option. Or you can do Brees and or Bijan with Rome or Keenan. Wait after this week and see what happens and which one, you like more. Throw them in, and then you can probably get a decent, high-end RB2 and a, high-end, high to middle wide receiver 2 to kind of level things out. That's probably what I would do. It's great having both those running backs, and I didn't see any other running backs listed. So if you're light at running back depth, then that's where I'd be a little bit. It would be a little bit harder for me. But yeah, you're a little light at wide receiver, but you could definitely improve that. I think a lot of people start ramping up trades in week 4. And it becomes, a little bit more because now we have more data, more, scenarios where we know what's going on. So the Schmitty, what's going on, man? Great to have you here. He goes, Roshan or Carson Steele. I think I'm going to go with Carson Steele just because he has a little bit more control of that particular offense at this point. I mean, if I look at my numbers from last week and what they're currently doing, hold on one sec. Where's Casey? There he is. So Carson Steele is currently running 62% of the snaps over, Samaj AP Ryan. So Carson Steele, I'm pretty much using. So Rashad White, Bucky Irving, or Braylon Allen, man, this is a lot closer for me. I think you could probably roll with Braylon Allen here over White and over Bucky. I like Braylon Allen a lot, man. I think he can have a good game here. I have White currently at 26. I have Braylon at 30. And I don't have Bucky that high. I have Bucky at 32. So I do like Braylon Allen there. So yeah, I would maybe roll with Braylon Allen in this particular matchup. Right now for the running backs, Broncos are 21st against the run. Might want to go down that road. I like that a lot. Adrian Peterson, what's up, brother? He goes, Keenan Allen, Worthy, Dobbs, Hopkins, McLaurin. Start 3. McLaurin, Worthy, Keenan Allen. Those are going to be my 3. Hold on. I'm getting some late inactives. Everything looks good. I don't care about that. Don't care about that. White doing that. Cooper Kupp. So Cooper Kupp will be back in the next 2 weeks. Puka should be by the end of the month. So we'll see how that goes. Martin Chorus, what's up, man? He goes, start Debo or Jacobs in my flex or start Debo over Tyreek. That's a tough one. I think I'm going to go Jacobs here just because he's healthier of the two. And I don't think I would play any of them over Tyreek today. I have to wait and see what Snoop does, to be honest. In some situations, you have no choice but to play Tyreek. But if you can sit Tyreek this week, enjoy. But it's very hard for me to tell you to sit him. I have him in situations where I have to start Hill. So Ross goes, David, that trade would get Evans. That trade to get Evans was a perfect buy low. Well done. Oh, did I miss that? Oh, okay. Yeah, to buy low. Okay. Theo Washington goes, one more, bro. Kittle or Cole Kmet. I'm going to go Kittle. I like Kittle. He's ready to play. So Anthony goes, I would not trade Bijan or Brees. Consider one of them as your wide receiver one, even though you have a real wide receiver one in Evans. So I think that's perfect. Okay. The other wide receiver you could possibly target is Hill and take a chance that they're maybe they're like Adunze and Hill. Yeah, I get that. The Schmitty says they said Roshan is getting a bigger role today. Okay. I'll wait and see. I know what I'm getting in Steele comparatively to Roshan. He might be getting a bigger role overall, but I do think that Swift is going to be involved and still involved. I think Steele has a good command of that offense overall for the next few weeks. 62% of the, he has 62% of the offense or the offensive snaps comparative to Samaje, who's at 38. So, I mean, it's a higher split for Carson Steele. I like that scenario a little bit better than the Chicago one. Chicago currently is running 4 different running backs with Swift going 53, Roshan at 50 or at 37%. I'd rather go with the guy that's getting the ball more than the guy that might get the ball. That's just my opinion. But if you think that he's going to be involved today and will get the rock a little more, then go for it. I honestly think that Carson Steele will have a better opportunity. All right, boys and girls, we're going to wrap this up. Oh, and that particular matchup against the Chargers, I mean, Chargers are 24th against the run as well. Yeah. Rams are 3rd against the run. Carson Steele. Go Carson Steele. All right, boys and girls, I'm going to wrap this up. Like I said, make sure you guys check out our affiliate podcasts out there. We got the Fantasy Football Tavern with Kendall. So cold beers, hot takes. Make sure you guys check him out. Phil Ruskin at the Extra Point. He will be here every Wednesday and Thursday as well. So check him out. And the Fantasy Boardroom with Tycoon, AKA everything. So make sure you guys check them out as well. Make sure you guys check out Underdog Fantasy as well using the promo code Get Right. No waivers, no trades, no lineup setting. That's for their best ball. Make sure you guys check out their pick'ems as well, picking higher or lower on certain certain stats. So make sure you guys do that as well. All right, all. I hope everyone has a wonderful week 4, unless you're going against me. I'll see you guys next week on Friday, and then I will be back here on Sunday morning. We will have our show tomorrow on Monday with Rasta and Frank, giving you guys waiver wire targets and, just general overreaction to the week. Then Tycoon will be here on Tuesday to go with his show. And then on Wednesday, Rasta and Frank will give you guys some buy low, sell high targets. And then, of course, we got Phil on Thursday and on Wednesday. He'll be here to help you guys out with anything you need prior to the Thursday night kickoff. And then we're going to have our 2 shows on Friday as well with me and Kendall. And then right after with Rasta and Phil. So hope to see you guys next week. We will see you then. Have a wonderful week 4. Getting tired. I'll see you guys later. Have a great week. Peace.
Wanted to white fantasy is the play. Marking nothing, but I tune in every Friday. Strategies provided.